Welcome to a brand new hour of CBS Sports HQ presented by Canva. Love your work. We certainly love our work. Kyle Long, Lige Douzable, Jacqueline D'Agostino, and Tommy Tran. Football tonight, prime time, AFC East style with the Bills and Dolphins.
Man, it is crazy because both of these teams have such high expectations. Of course, in the regular season, but mainly in the postseason, gentlemen. We're certainly looking forward to it. Are you excited for the matchup?
For sure. I mean, anytime you get a divisional rival on a Thursday night football is great. I know a lot of fans have always questioned the matchups on Thursday night. I don't think people are questioning this one. This is a great way to start Thursday night football in week 2 of the NFL season.
Yeah, it's the Miami Dolphins trying to establish some form of dominance against this Bills team who has been absolutely dominant against the Dolphins. But you look at it, it's not a day game. You get a Thursday night game, so you can take that heat out of the equation. It's still going to be warm in South Florida, but at the end of the day, it's the freaking Josh Allen show at South Beach, baby.
Yeah, and we know that Tua and the Dolphins certainly like warm weather, but even though these teams, I mean, sometimes on paper we think they're evenly matched, the matchup is pretty lopsided. If we go back, the Bills are 11-1 in their last 12 meetings, and it was kind of comeback kid energy from both of these teams in week 1, both erasing 14-point deficits. But Lige, as mentioned, Josh Allen, he owns the Dolphins. We'll get to more on that in a minute. But just in general, the Bills have dominated this series, Lige.
Yeah, and if you're the Miami Dolphins, I think Mike McDaniel was pretty avid in his press conference the other day talking about the dominance the Buffalo Bills have had. It's I kind of liken it to when Tom Brady, and it's not been as vast, but Tom Brady when New England owned the AFC East. That's literally what has happened the last 5 years for the Buffalo Bills. You see it right there on the screen. 11 wins, only 1 loss in the last 12 meetings. And you look at Josh Allen in totality, he's 11-2 against the Miami Dolphins. If you're the Miami Dolphins, right, and you have aspirations to not only win the division but get a playoff win, well, the easiest way to do that is to win the division to get a home game at home. So it starts tonight for them, and it's week 2, so you never want to say anything is too important, but this is a divisional game, Kyle. These matter going down the stretch when you're talking about seeding for the playoffs. And again, for the Miami Dolphins, they have a 24-year win playoff drought. The easiest way to end that is to win a game at home and win the division. It starts tonight. Josh Allen has owned them. Let's see if they can change that.
You know, when I was playing in Chicago, we played against that team up north, the Green Bay Packers, and Chicago Bears fans, they'd always say, it doesn't matter what happens this season, just beat the Packers. And you know, we had these guys on the rope. I remember when we had Khalil Mack come in week 1, we dominated the Packers early in the game. Rodgers goes out at halftime. They're down 21 points. Next thing you know, he gets the elixir. He comes back out, wins the football game. When I'm thinking about the Dolphins and their matchup against the Bills, it's can we take down the bad man? And that's Josh Allen. The bad man has dominated against this football team. He's the only player in NFL history to average 275 plus passing yards and 50 plus rushing yards against a team. The only player in NFL history to do that. Josh Allen, I'm looking for some MVP type performances tonight for him, and it's going to be the same old story in my opinion. It's going to be all Bills tonight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to piggyback off of that Josh Allen note too. In his 13 career games against the Dolphins, he's thrown for at least 2 touchdown passes. Not total TDs, thrown for TDs. So whether it's Daboll or Ken Dorsey or now Joe Brady, Kyle, what stands out to you about Josh Allen operating in an offense against the Dolphin team?
Well, you said Joe Brady. I think one thing that Joe Brady does a great job is allowing Josh Allen to be himself. Let your freak flag fly. My best coach has always said, be you. And if I'm Josh Allen's coach, I'm going to say, go be you, big fella, because that's what's good enough to win. You don't have to be Superman, because even when you're just being yourself, you kind of are Superman. I look at no players with over 5 targets for the Bills offense last week. He's able to spread the ball out with tremendous efficiency. Obviously, you've got a lot of guys who can make plays after the catch for this Bills team, but when those guys are covered up, look for Big 17, just like we see on the screen here, taking off, extending drives. That's what breaks the back of this defense.
Without a doubt, it's his mobility, Tommy. We saw it last week versus Arizona, 2 red zone touchdowns running the football. And I think that's the big question mark for defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver. Who will be that spot guy? Will it be Javon Holland? Will it be David Long? Because once the Bills get into the red zone, that's when Josh Allen is dangerous, because we know what type of arm he has. He can put it anywhere on the field. But it's his mobility added with his size. I mean, it's 240 pounds at 6'5". That's not easy to bring down. That's like a Sam Backer playing quarterback.
An angry quarterback.
Exactly. So, like, that's the big difference with Josh Allen in the red zone. That's what makes him so tough to guard, because not only can he put the ball anywhere in the field in the red zone, but his mobility comes into play in the red zone which makes this offense very dangerous.
Now, Alicia, you kind of already alluded to it. I know it's only week 2, but the importance of this matchup, because it is a divisional game, and the AFC East, it's one of those divisions where we talked about we don't really know how it's going to go down. We think of Josh Allen and Tua and Aaron Rodgers, and I mean, the Patriots are a long shot, but they showed up against the Bengals. But hey, we were just talking about this off camera. If we think back to the Dolphins, if they would have just beat the Tennessee Titans and then they get a home playoff game. So it's always this woulda, coulda, shoulda mentality. But what is the importance of this week 2 matchup? I know it's early, but it still counts a lot.
To me, it's all the pressures on the Dolphins, right? You just alluded to it, Jacqueline. If they beat the Tennessee Titans, they win the division. They get a home divisional game last year in the playoffs, right? With 5 games left, Kyle, they had a 3-game lead. I don't think it had ever been done in history for a team to walk a team down within 5 games, having a 3-game league. So it's a psyche to this. You know this, Kyle. As a team continues to beat you and beat you, for you to get over that hump and to be divisional champs, we have to beat this team. And if you look at Miami in totality last year, 1-6 against playoff caliber teams, right? So there's that psyche as well. Not only can we beat the big bad wolf and the Buffalo Bills, can we compete and beat teams that are playoff caliber type teams? So if you're the Miami Dolphins, this is a massive game. Yes, Jacqueline, it is week 2, but it's a divisional game. This goes a long way in regards to you saying, like, we deserve to be talked about in regards to winning this division.
Yeah, it's a must-win game for the Miami Dolphins. I hate to say that in week 2, but it really is. You get these guys at home, that's a great opportunity. But obviously, it's a night game. They don't have the same home field advantage. Must win for the Dolphins. You know, going up to Buffalo is going to be a real load to take on that team at Highmark Stadium.
There will be no shortage of superstars in this game, but we want to also have a vested interest on difference makers, on potential guys who could be game wreckers, could be the decision in what is a short spread. Lige, give me a Bills player to watch.
Well, I'm giving you a position group.
Okay.
The corners for the Buffalo Bills, Rasul Douglas, Christian Benford, and Taron Johnson. I thought the Jacksonville Jaguars did a really good job last week. Their corners being physical with the receivers from the Miami Dolphins. You know this, Kyle, it's a timing-based offense that Mike McDaniel likes to run, right? Tua knows exactly where to go with the ball when his back foot hits. The way you slow this down is to throw that timing off between receiver and quarterback, and that's what Jacksonville did a really good job. I was actually surprised when I watched the tape, Kyle, that they played so much man coverage against that 4x100-meter relay team that the Miami Dolphins have. But they did a good job of hitting Waddle at the line of scrimmage, hitting Tyreek Hill at the line of scrimmage. Sean McDermott does a really good job of disguising things, right? So how is he going to confuse Tua Tagovailoa? But they need a big game from their corners, redirecting those receivers from the Miami Dolphins to throw off that timing between Tua Tagovailoa and also his receivers.
You're talking about throwing off the timing, which I agree with 100%. But as a defensive lineman, you also know you can throw off the picture for Tua Tagovailoa. And there's so much that happens right in front of the line of scrimmage for this Miami Dolphins offense. Crossing routes, quick game out into the flat. And I think if I'm an edge defender, if I'm getting blocked up, I know the ball's out quick, get your hands up. But for me, it's Ed Oliver on the inside. Not tremendous against the run game, but I think this will be kind of a track meet offensively. You'll see a lot of throwing the football. Ed Oliver can win quickly, and if it's in the A and B gap, that can spell disaster for Tua. Look for tips and overthrow, or tipped and underthrow for him if Ed Oliver can get in the backfield.
And to that point, talked about throwing off the timing between quarterback and receiver. Greg Rousseau had a big game last week. 3 sacks. Even Von Miller showed up, had 5 pressures, 1 sack. When you throw that timing off and Tua has to go to his second or third read, that allows your defensive line to hunt and get on the edge and get after the quarterback. So that's something to watch as well, right? The offensive tackles from Miami Dolphins, if Tua can't find that first read, will they be able to hold up in protection against those 2 edge rushers?
Now, Tommy, you alluded to it. Certainly no shortage of superstars on both teams, especially when it comes to the Dolphins on both sides of the ball, really. But Kyle, who's your player to watch for Miami?
For Miami, it's Teron Armstead. For the reasons you just talked about, you're looking at the film all week as Teron Armstead, and it's just Greg Rousseau winning outside, Greg Rousseau winning inside, Greg Rousseau winning down the middle. So I think Teron Armstead, if you can keep your offense on schedule on first down, doing a good job run blocking. I know there's questions in the running back room for Miami. We don't exactly know who's going to be out there. I know Jacqueline's got, what do you got, Achane?
I got Achane.
You need Achane to be out there. Mostert didn't practice all week. So Teron Armstead, understand that sometimes Greg Rousseau might shut his rush down down, try to get in the throw lanes, akin to like what J.J. Watt used to do. Be careful out there, Teron Armstead. You see the hands go up, you got to attack that defensive lineman. You can't let him jump and bat down any footballs.
Well, I'm going for the guys that will be running behind Teron Armstead, and that's the running backs. We'll see if Devon Achane can go. From everything that I've heard out of Miami, he practiced and looked really good yesterday, so he may go. And then Jeff Wilson actually gave them a burst off the bench last week as well. They're not only going to be important in the run game, because with that play-action pass, quick game that Miami likes to do, you just need the linebackers to bite on it a little bit, Kyle. That way you can throw that behind that drag route or that in-breaking dig route, right? If you get the linebackers to suck up into the A-gaps, then you'll have a clear picture for Tua Tagovailoa. But also out of the backfield, I thought the Cardinals running backs did a really good job last week catching the ball out of the backfield. They had 50-plus yards. That could really help this offense as well. So Jeff Wilson, Devon Achane, not only running the football to help Tua Tagovailoa in that play-action pass game, but also being an outlet for Tua Tagovailoa in the flat to catch some yards.
You guys have both declared this game a gotta-have-it game for the Dolphins. I'm curious if you think they get it done tonight. Lee J, I'm going to start with you because you also have a pretty strong stance on the pace of play that we'll see at Hard Rock.
Yeah, when you look at it, Thursday night football, we were talking about this, Kyle. The playbook and the game plan is always condensed because you don't have as many days to prepare for a game. So to me, the edge usually goes to the home team with that because the away team has to travel down after 2 days of just playing a football game to get ready for this game. I actually like the under in this game. When you look at the Buffalo Bills, the last 6 Thursday night football games, the under is hitting every single one of them. If you go to the Miami Dolphins, in the last 14, 11 have hit in the under as well. And then we were talking about the weather, right, Kyle? Well, the Miami Dolphins with Mike McDaniel as head coach, right? 16-1 straight up, 13-4 against the spread when it's 75 degrees or warmer. Now, it is a night game, but we know with humidity, it's going to be hotter than 75 degrees in September. I actually like the Miami Dolphins to get it done today. Enough is enough. Tua, you're 1-6 against Josh Allen. We just talked about how Josh Allen has owned the Miami Dolphins, 11-2. If it doesn't happen tonight, I don't know when it will.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the little brother trying to pick a fight with his older brother, and his older brother's got his hand on the face.
He's swinging like this.
He can't quite reach him. That feels like the Dolphins. They have so much to be proud of offensively. This football team obviously went out last week and got a win. Tua, 300-plus yards. The offense looks to be like the offense has been in the past. But at the end of the day, it's getting that guy off your shoulder. It's Josh Allen, number 17. Can you contain him on 3rd and short situations? Can you create a turnover here or there defensively to give that offense extra possessions for the Dolphins? I don't know if they have enough to stop Josh Allen. I don't know if anybody has enough to stop Josh Allen. I'm picking the Bills tonight.
Bills have won the division 4 straight seasons, and they did so last year in the regular season finale down here in South Florida. Kyle, Lee J, certainly appreciate it. Want to remind everybody